how long between dates is normal? Now that's a good question, and it can be answered multiple ways. I would say if you're a guy trying to understand how to ask, I would say the best way to ask is, first of all, during the first date, as it concludes, there's nothing wrong with saying something like, hey, listen, I love this date. I'd like to go again. I tell you what, why don't you, when you get home, I'll give you a text later, and let's see if we can't set up a second date. Now, you could set up one there, but I think it's important to give the woman space because she may or may not have enjoyed the date. And I think putting her on the spot kind of forces an awkward position in which if she did not like it's going to just make the entire date kind of just much more awkward than it needs to be. So preferably, I would say after the date, I would be looking for a woman who's interacting and active and playing her role in the relationship or the dating process to understand that, I pursued, I got the number, I set the date, I set the location, I met, I paid the bill, I walked her to her car, we had a great night, and I text her to make sure that she got home okay. I'm looking for an initiative on her part for a second date. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not taking the lead. It means that I am giving room to see if this person is engaged in the relationship enough to want to be vulnerable. And I think that's important because if in a relationship I am the only one doing the pursuing, that's not going to be enjoyable for either one of us. And so I do give her space to pursue. And if she shows initiative and enthusiasm over the date, and I would expect some type of text the next day. If that's not in place, I might text mid-afternoon, just say, hey, how you doing? And if it's a one answer response or something that's very simplistic, then I'm just going to take that as the date wasn't what she expected, or we did not jive for whatever reason. Now, if that's in place, then the next thing I guess I'm looking for is she desperate? Is she clingy? Was there anything that's going to make me not want to potentially go on the second date, or at least maybe give a little bit of space? All that aside, the typical scenario is going to be you go on the first date and you get a text the next day that says, hey, great day. I hope your day's going good. And you say, it is going great. I'd love to grab drinks again. When are you free? And typically, depending on where she's at in life, if she's got joint custody of her children and she has them 1 week on, 1 week off, it could be a week out. Let her create that space. And there are no hardline rules for this. I would typically say it's usually not the next day, or I would personally not have it be the next day. I would give it, a few days at least in between. Usually it's 4 or 5 days if you're living an active life and you've got plans and you've got things to do. For me, if I go on a date, let's say on a Friday, and we talk over the weekend, it's typically going to be later that week, maybe Thursday through the weekend. But again, there are no hardline rules for this. Different people in different life stages are going to have different responses. If your kids are grown and you're retired and you have the next day open and maybe you like landscaping and you're going to be doing some yard work, or she's going to be doing some yard work, or maybe you guys can figure out a situation in which you're going to see each other again. No hardline rules for this, but I would simply create space for one another to dance, to make the dance of courting each other and starting the relationship moving, where both parties show a level of enthusiasm. So that's my answer to that question. If you're confused on dating in any way, there is a link in the comment of this, in the description of this video. Drop the link every Wednesday. I jump on a 15-minute call. There's scheduling opportunities available, and let's see how I might be able to help you. Thanks. Take care.